Good save by Felice and the dig by Harris. This one goes up. Brown once again making a save, and this one going over. Unbelievable play. This one dig up by Brown. On the floor. It's over. Florida A&M. They have won the 2025 Southwestern Athletic Conference Tournament.
You on mute.
We are the champions. No time for losers, because we are the champions. Again, and again. Congratulations, Coach Gokhan and the FAMU
Gokhan.
Coach Gokhan, exactly. Congratulations, man. What an awesome way to kick off the show. A great day to recover after the Florida Classic is watching the Lady Rattlers win a championship. God bless them as the 8th seed, man. How you doing on this Thanksgiving Eve, Kelvin? What's good, brother?
Man, I'm doing well, man. Getting ready. Got some stuff brewing in the kitchen. One of my favorite holidays, both for the meaning of it and the fact that you get to be around family. Those moments are precious as you get more seasoned. And because not everybody who was there last year is going to be there this year. So it's very valuable. And also, you know, it's the end of the fall season, kind of. Football is college football in a way. It's kind of winding down, except for the championship and a few rivalry games. And you know, the leaves are falling. You got to cut grass no more. You ain't sweating your butt off. You know, all is well.
Good to hear, man. Always good to hear. You know, Jeffrey Carroll, I don't know where you from and which part you from, but we celebrate champions around these parts. All right. So
Absolutely.
we celebrate damn volleyball. We celebrate damn cross country, damn every sport that we won a championship in.
Jeffrey must not watch this show.
You must not watch the show. Welcome to the O&G, Jeff Carroll.
I wonder what school he go to.
I got a feeling. I
bet you they ain't got no championships.
I bet you ain't got no volleyball champions. I bet you ain't got none. Maybe. It's all love here. Welcome on to the show. Welcome to everybody watching us, the O&G StrikeZone, part of the Black College Sports Network. Hello to everybody watching on Facebook and on YouTube. Watching also on Instagram Live, or you could be watching on Twitter. We say hello to all of each and every one of you. We wish you well. You know, it's all jokes around these parts. So don't take nothing too seriously unless you're a hater. Then, you know, there's other places that you can go hate on. But it's all good. Somewhere soon to join us is the third member of our team, Marcus Green. I think he's dealing with some family stuff at the moment. But he's in the background. He'll be joining us shortly, no doubt. No doubt that he will. So good to have you all, you know. So good to have you everybody here. I'm the only hater. You're right. I am a hater. I'm petty too, Jeff Carroll. I'm petty. I'm a hater. I'm all those things. I'm all those things and above. Exactly. You got it right. Welcome to the show. Glad you recognize. Thanks for joining. Hit the thumbs up and the like button, Jeff Carroll. You like this show so much that you came on to be that guy tonight. While we full of thanks and joy. So just make sure to hit the thumbs up and like button. That's everybody who's watching. Don't be a hater today. You know, be thankful. Be thankful that you're here. Be thankful that you are locked in. You know, some of y'all might be cooking. You might be preparing the dishes and all that good stuff. You know, shout out to anybody that went over to, you know, you got a fan, Kelvin.
But Jeffrey,
I'm not here to be like.
Hey, do you know Jeffrey?
I don't know Jeff Carroll. Maybe I do know Jeff Carroll. I mean, I don't know. I appreciate Jeff Carroll being a subscriber to the channel and everything.
Yes.
I'm just
It's
gonna keep
all
it
love.
at that. I'm gonna keep it at that. It's all love. I'm not here to be liked, but it is what it is. So, love to hate me. Exactly. See, we knew who Jeff Carroll was. Yeah, look, it all comes out. We knew in the watch who he was. We knew.
Oh yeah, we knew it was JSU now.
Yeah, we knew. We could tell by the tone. So it was what it was. But yeah, so gotta make mention and celebrate the fact that the Lady Rattlers defeated Southern University, the 8th seed versus the 7th seed. Talk about an improbable championship matchup. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how improbable could that have been? The 8 and the 7, 2 teams, Kelvin. That when you go and look at the brackets, 2 teams that, I mean, look, the 6. No,
Those,
was 5, 6.
There was 3 teams that we all lost to during conference play, but it was early. But we lost all 3 of the teams we beat in the tournament.
Wow.
In the regular season.
Wow. All of them, of course, the 5, 6, 7, and the 8 seed all finished 9 and 7. We were we draw the short straw on the tiebreaker. Welcome on to the show, Marcus Green. Marcus, good to have you. Happy Thanksgiving to you, brother.
Thank you. Same to both of you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Just talking about the amazing run that the Lady Rattlers put on. If you were locked in and listening to our show a week ago, when we had Coach GoatCon on, he told us the preparation was in for Prairie View. And how prophetic was he? And there was no better, it's a master class in watching Coach utilize the challenging system in the tournament, which is something that I don't know if it's always available during the season. I think as more
postseason.
Well, I know it's available in the postseason, but I mean during the regular season. Right. During the regular season, it's sometimes it's available, sometimes it's not. I think it depends on where you're playing, who you're playing. But he put on a master class in using the challenge rules, which allow you to challenge a call, and none bigger than that. I think it was the second set.
Second set against Prairie View, right?
Yes, second set against Prairie View. We're already down 1-0, and he challenges a call, which if it goes against Florida A&M to Prairie View, they win the set, 27-25. But we were successful. He was successful on the challenge, tied it at 26, and we ended up winning a few points later. I believe it was 29-27, and then we ended up taking the third and fourth set. But none bigger than that. And then he put on a masterclass in the Alabama A&M and even in the championship game. I mean, just I don't know what the total number ended up being in terms of how many challenges he won, but another successful job by this team. Any observations, thoughts on this team and this run, Kelvin and Marcus? Go to you, Kelvin, and then go to you, Marcus.
Well, I was able to make it back from the Classic to catch the end of set 2 and set 3 and 4 of the championship match. Let me first say shout out to Southern University. Those young ladies are very scrappy, man. We absolutely earned it, man. I was very impressed how athletic, because they weren't very tall, but they were extremely athletic, and they got up well. And then they just had one player that just was trying to will them to win, man. I was like,
number 17.
My goodness. Yes.
I forgot something Brown. I don't remember her first name.
Yeah, and come to find out, the interesting thing about that young lady, we didn't know at the time, but we were able to talk to Coach GoatCon at the end of the match later on when everybody had kind of left and everything. And he shared that the young lady actually had tried to come to FAMU because she's friend with one of our players. But at the time she was trying to get here, we didn't have a available spot for her. So she was a little bit extra motivated, and it looked that way when she played against us. But nevertheless, man, it was what I would say is this. I went back and looked at the roster of this team. We only have 2 seniors. Only one of those seniors were really a significant contributor. We get a player of the year candidate back next year in Iana Sanford. We also get another very experienced player who didn't play this season back, and coaches killing it on the recruiting side. Plus, we have 15 young ladies returning. If you didn't get us this year, it's gonna be tough to get us for the next 4. That's the way it's shaping up. But the last thing I would say is it's a testament to Coach Gokon, first of all, his ability to get a team prepared. He dealt with a lot of adversity this year that typically you wouldn't have to deal with. Injuries, players who you were relying on that weren't available at the last minute, and you had to play a lot of freshmen and a lot of new players. Even the ones that weren't freshmen, they weren't with this team last year. He had like 10 new players on this team, and so got off to a slow start. Got off to a slow start in the SWAC, even in the conference play. I think we started off like 1-6, somewhere around there. And a lot of times you can lose a team, or they get, all the losing defeats them. And coach kept tinkering, kept coaching, and right at the middle of the season, man, he found that magic sauce. Yeah, he found that magic sauce. And they went on that run from the midway point of the season to the end, of course, and extended it to the tournament. And this is just going to serve them well and bowl very well for the next few years. I mean, you won't have to – and what this shows is, in order to beat Coach Gokon and his teams, you have to beat Coach Gokon and his teams. You're not going to sneak your way into a championship in volleyball. Not against these rattlers.
No. You want to beat you want to be the best. You want to be the champ. You got to beat the champ. So flat out. Marcus, your thoughts and observations?
Yes, I was watching it from the beginning, and I saw Kelvin and Sam over there I guess they were behind the southern side. So I saw them during the course of the game. One other thing that I may have sent you guys this text before, but I was looking back at my notes that there are 18 first and second team members of the postseason all volleyball team. This is before the tournament, not the tournament team, but from the course of the season.
Regular season. So
FAMU, regular season. So FAMU had 2. So that means there are 16 players from other teams who made first or second team all SWAC volleyball for the season. We faced, in this championship run, we faced 10 of those 16. 5 from PV, the first team, and 4 second team players. Alabama A&M, 3 first team players, including the newcomer of the year and libero of the year, and 2 from Southern who are on second team. So that goes to testament. We have two players who made second team as well. So in terms of the gauntlet of talent and accolades that this team overcame, and you have to take a look not only on how they won, because I think we won each match 3-1.
Yep.
And I think in at least Prairie View, and maybe even Alabama A&M, I think we were down 0-1 and after the first set, if I recall correctly. But I know for Prairie View, I don't remember about Alabama A&M. But the gauntlet of talent and teams that we had to go through in order to get to the championship, and also the manner in which it was done, that with a pretty short bench, making the observation that I don't know, other than LaDonna Trantham, and I think she may have been the only freshman that got in. I think all the other ones who were true freshmen, not first-year players on the team, but true freshmen, I think they were in reserve roles. So he had a very short rotation, if we're to use a basketball term, and powering that all the way through to the to the trophy is just another testament to his strategy, his team, his coaching, and his preparation.
That is a great point you bring up. We were down. We lost the first set to Alabama A&M 27-25. So that's a good observation there, Marcus. Good observation on your part. The all-tournament team selections. Very interestingly enough, hold on, I'm going to move this out the way so everybody can see it. You talked about those numbers. At the end of the day, we ended up with 4 making the all-tournament team. Sydney Whitfield, Farrah Farouk, LaDonna Trantham, and Mackenzie Taylor. The young lady you're speaking of, number 17, is in the top right there. Ariana Brown is her name. But as you can see, yep, you got a couple people from Alabama State, a couple from A&M, a couple from Southern. And then, of course, it was Mackenzie Taylor, who ended up being the Buick Most Valuable Player. Taylor ended up with 40 assists, 13 digs, and 2 kills in the championship game. And I got to imagine you could have gone any number of directions. I'm fascinated how they always come up with the determination. You got people that vote, I'm sure. But I think you could have any number of people. I think because in that championship game, Sydney Whitfield had a double-double with 13 kills and 12 digs. Farrah Farouk had 14 kills. So I mean, there was all kinds of individuals that you could have. I put it like this: it was tough. It had to be tough trying to select who was going to be the player. So congratulations, definitely to Mackenzie. Congratulations to Sydney, Farrah, LaDonna. As Marcus said, all of them returning. You know what? And one more thing you brought up about that all tournament or the regular season awards, Marcus, which I think going into the next season, we're going to have to give people some hell about this. Because, Coach talked about, and Coach is a very humble guy, but privately you talk to him, he'll let you know how he really feels. But publicly, he's a very humble guy. He was very blunt. He was very blunt last week about the fact that last year on a team that was unbeaten, 16-0, that he had I think he said no players on the first team, didn't have the player of the year. And so, it is what it is. I don't know what beef they got with us. Well, but somebody got some beef. So I agree with him when he says there needs to be better transparency. And I'm up for all voting across the board because
open voting. Put your name on it.
The people who do the voting are coaches and SIDs. So let's first off state that fact. It's the coaches and SIDs that make the votes, even when it comes to the preseason stuff. But at some point, there has to be some transparency from the conference. If you're not going to ask the media to vote, then you got to be open to saying, there just needs to be transparency. People, we need to be looking at these voters and really kind of having a little side eye. But anyway, I'll move off of that, but it is what it is. The FAMU volleyball team will have a watch party. I'm just looking here on the FAMU Athletics website. They've already said there's going to be a watch party Sunday at the Lawson Center. Let's see. The doors open at 5:00. Yep. Live selection at 6 p.m. Just a great opportunity to get out and celebrate these young ladies. I don't know if they're going to be doing things that you can sign and get autographs, or maybe you should take pictures. I mean, but man, come on, Rattler Nation. We got to, we keep trying to find ways to engage with these young folks. And I don't know what you do to get their peers to come out. That's a whole nother conversation for another show. But I know us alums, I know us adults in the room, we need to get out there and show these kids some love, because what they are doing, they are a true dynasty right now. And, so we got to make sure we get out and celebrate them. So the announcement on where the Rattlers will play will come on Sunday at 6 p.m. for the live selection show. Again, you can go to the Lawson Center and be a part of the watch party. Doors open at 5 p.m. and you can go be a part of celebrating the championship by the Lady Rattlers.
By the way, Goat Con gave us some insight, like he did every year after the game, as to where he project we would go. What he said was, I believe he said FAU or FIU. I think it was FIU. I think may have lost their tournament. But if the University of Miami won, I think they were playing later in the day, they could be a top 16 seed and therefore host. He was like, if Miami, if there's a term, if someone hosts in Miami, then that would probably be where they go. Otherwise, they'll probably have to go to Nebraska again.
Oh, Jesus.
I just sent one of the guys that follows Nebraska volleyball. I sent him a tweet. It was yesterday about, because he mentioned, I guess he retweeted the score and mentioned something about the SWAC, probably because we played him last year. So he might have seen it, just offhand. But I think he does a volleyball podcast for not just for Nebraska, but nationwide. And I said, well, since the coach is retired and the record is even now instead of 0-1, I guess we don't have to come to Nebraska anymore. So I hope not.
It just comes to, how teams perform. If enough, if we don't have anyone in the top 16 in the Southeast region, then we're going to get shipped out. And that's kind of how he said it was falling. Let me also give a shout out to Commissioner Charles McClellan, who was at the tournament. And after the game, he was trying to leave, and there was about 4 or 5 of us Rattlers standing outside chatting, and he stopped just for a minute, and that minute turned into about 30 minutes, so much so that his wife was sitting in the car waiting on him. She had to blow the horn at him for him to come on. But he was very gracious with his time. There were some really pretty good questions that were asked, and he didn't duck no smoke, and he was very transparent. So Bryan, we have to get him on the O&G and have that conversation again, because he's very transparent, very approachable.
Hey, yes, he is very approachable. I mean, we remember the one time where he came, hung out at the tailgate, broke bread with us. Yeah. I mean, he loves when you talk about it, and he should. And so it's not just part of the job, but I mean, he is SWAC. He grew up in the SWAC. He went to school in the SWAC. He was an athletic director in the SWAC. So when we talk about loving this conference, loving the people, understanding how crazy, petty, and passionate we all are about our programs, he gets it. He gets it better than anybody, right?
He does.
I mean, I know he takes a lot of crap, takes a lot of bullets, but man, he loves this conference. So it does not surprise me that he would stop to chop it up with wherever he is with the people, because and we are the ones who keep supporting our programs, and so when he goes before those board of regents or those boards and the presidents, and he tells them about what needs to happen and how to grow this conference, is coming because he's out there talking to the people. He's not hiding behind a desk or under a desk. Right. He's out there at the different games talking to people, and then he's there talking with the student athletes. So he gets the whole perspective. It's a beautiful thing. Before we end the segment, I love this question by Lil Baby. And this is something that I think is a deeper conversation to have about how to really build a volleyball fan base and culture, something that is representative of the success that we're having.
Yeah, and I think, we've talked about this, on our show, but also, multiple times in the pit, especially back when Coach Trimanov was on there, because I think the challenge, or one challenge, is that volleyball isn't one of those sports that is ingrained in Black culture. That may be one stumbling block in that football, basketball, and you even see some slide back in baseball. But volleyball and isn't something that has been ingrained, over decades as a sport that we support and sport that we follow and sport that we would, have a big fan base. So I don't know how. I mean, I do agree with it. And I know I've mentioned something similar in the past. Like if you visit a Nebraska, you visit a Hawaii, you visit a Florida that tend to and Miss Wisconsin, some of the other powers in volleyball, to understand how they go about building it, and maybe adopting or adapting some of those strategies on an HBCU level. But we've got the winning part down.
Right.
I mean,
which is the first part. That's the first part.
Yeah, we've got the first part. So in terms of having a successful program, I mean, that's been going on, 20 years now? I know we had a slight lull, during our transition in the last couple of years in the MEAC, where it seemed like A&T and Howard were coming up and it kind of interceding on the dominance that we had in the MEAC. But in terms of an overall program, when you look at consistent success over the last 20, 25 years, I mean, between volleyball and softball, probably the two that from FAMU that you would say hasn't had like significant lulls. There's been maybe a dip into maybe 500 in the conference record, or maybe slightly above 500, but there hasn't been like anything like, a nosedive. So the program has been established and is continuing to. So then there's some other things that need to be done. We have to figure out what those are and adapt them for our specific culture to try to get those crowds to come out.
And I'll just throw in real quick, Bryan, a couple of just ideas. And I'm actually putting together a list that I hope to pass on, and I'll share it here on O&G too, to our decision makers and power that be within athletics as to how we can take our athletic department to the next level. And it's going to be pretty comprehensive. It's going to be about budgets, about support staff, about fundraising, NIL, all that good stuff. And we'll see, because there are some solutions. Some things we can't do anything about, but something with volleyball, I think that's pretty simple. Two things. Of course, we really have to appeal to the student population and get them more active and seeing this team. Because if you're at the game, man, we have a great product to watch. You know how I always say, I can't watch bad this and bad that. You ain't got to worry about that with volleyball. No. The same volleyball you watching, the same volleyball they playing at other Division I programs. So they, as you have pointed out, is a good product to watch. Now, two things that I think that would simple that might help. Don't know, but you might as well try it. Having those 5 o'clock games, and that's not going to work. It's probably, especially in the middle of the week and beginning of the week, you probably need to move to more night games like 6:37. And then the other part is if you can get weekend games, particularly a Saturday game, it probably will work better if you give us an option on. I know that's football season though, so it's kind of tough, because they ain't gonna win out of football. No. But if there's a open week or we on a road traveling, and then because you got high school football Friday, so it's tough. But tinkering around with days and the times of those games probably would be the easiest non-financial ways to see if it happens.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now, the other thing I'll throw out there, I know we're coming
Marcus,
up on a break.
Very quick, Marcus. Yeah. We got our guests waiting. Go ahead.
Well, one thing I always harken back to, and I know this article is almost 18 years old. There was a Sports Illustrated called The Program, and it focused on Ohio State. and they had a strategy on how to get students to come out to the Olympic sports that weren't football or basketball. And this is the time when Greg Oden was a freshman. And it was a pretty comprehensive program in terms of point system and things like that. And so, you know, I've advocated for years, could we look at that on a smaller scale to have some type of prize or something for points that students would accumulate by attending Olympic sports or forming like support clubs or like not support club, not like a fan group. I forgot what you call them.
No, you're
basically
probably
like
right. It's probably called
like a groupie, like a groupie type thing. Like they wear all like a FAMU hard hats or something like that, or call themselves.
Love that idea.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting. This article's going on 18 years old because it came out March 2007. I lost my paper copy, but I know Sports Illustrated might have an archive, but there's no reason we couldn't adopt a similar strategy they have for the Olympic sports, because it went sport by sport.
Yeah.
To say how they.
We used to have a spirit club for athletics, right? That was funded by SGA. I forgot what they were called, but we used to actually have a student sponsored club that, you know, did nothing but come to sporting events, all sporting events, and cheer on the team and try to get students out. So that's a great idea. Absolutely. They were very good too when they were doing it.
Okay. Man, I love that idea. Okay, let's get ready to get to our first break because our first guest is waiting on us. He's a championship winning coach. He's also a FAMU legend, a FAMU Hall of Famer. He's won championships on the field and on the sidelines. We can't wait to talk to a friend of the program, Coach Quinn Gray, on the other side of the break. Let's get ready to welcome in our championship-winning head coach on the other side after this commercial break. You're watching the O&G StrikeZone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
Football fans, the Cricket Celebration Bowl is celebrating 10 years of crowning an HBCU national champion. A champion will rise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 13th as the MEAC and SWAC champions clash in Atlanta. Join us for championship football, interactive fan experiences, and iconic marching bands. It's an HBCU family reunion that you don't want to miss. See who will be crowned the next HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
right, we'd like to welcome on to the show none other than a FAMU legend, FAMU Hall of Famer, and the Albany State head football coach, SIC champion, whose team got a big victory in round 1 of the Division II playoffs, and they're heading to the semifinals against a familiar foe. Welcome back to the show, Coach Quinn Gray. Coach, how you doing tonight?
Oh man, I'm doing well. Just enjoying listening to you guys talk about the alma mater and things of that magnitude, man, and just getting ready to try and make sure our guys are prepared for this upcoming Saturday and making sure we're in the right mindset to go out and do what we need to do.
Awesome. Well, first off, we got to definitely say congratulations.
Congratulations, Coach.
The great season, regular season. You capped it off with an unbeaten record in the SIC. You won the championship. Tell us first about the journey. What was this journey like for you in year 3 there at Albany State?
I think, for myself and this program, it all started 3 years ago or 2.5 years ago when I took the job. You know what I mean? It was a situation where you're talking about Coach Gabe Gardenia had what was a winning culture per se. He had won a championship in 2021, and just not to have won it in 2022 and then take a job at Charleston Southern. But for us, we had to come in and sort of kind of establish our culture and establish what it is and our standards that we needed to see from our student athletes that were going to be a part of our program. There were several guys that weren't able to live up to those standards, and we unfortunately had to move on from some of those guys. But the ones that stayed have become champions, and that's what it's truly about. It's becoming student athletes first when it comes down to any and everything. We're a student first. You got to understand that our academics are going to take top priority, and if that ain't something that you're interested in, then you're not going to be a part of this program long, because we just improved our GPA almost a whole point this past spring, from 2.2 to 2.8. So we're trying a steady increase when it comes down to our GPA. We're trying to get that thing over a 3.0, which I think will hit that mark this fall semester, because our guys have done a tremendous job this fall. But at the end of the day, I think for us in a football sense, it's a matter of the trust in each other, the trust that the kids have in us as coaches to put them in the right position, and then the trust that we have in those guys to do the right things when we're not necessarily around them. This team has become a player-led team, and that's when you win championships, when you as a coach have guys on your team that speak the same language as you and hold guys accountable to what they're doing and what they're not doing. So for us, this was the plan all along, and our plan is coming to fruition because we stuck to the plan and made sure we worked the plan, but before we gave up on it. So with that, that's why I think, and then obviously for me, is keeping faith in my Lord and Savior and making sure he gets all the praise for anything and everything that we do and we're successful at, because without him, there is no Quinn Gray and the success that we've had.
Appreciate that, Coach. Go ahead, Kelvin.
Coach, first let me say, you look like you can go back there and put some pads on, man. You're looking good, man. Looking real good.
I appreciate it. Sometimes I feel like that, but as soon as I stand up and start walking, it's a different story.
I can definitely understand that. So, Coach, I'm going off memory here, so correct me if I'm wrong, but within the conference, you went 6-2 your first year, and actually made it to the championship game.
Yeah.
You went 6-2 your second year within the conference.
Yeah.
And then this year you're undefeated and you make it to the championship game. You win a championship game, have a first round game against a Valdosta State team that got hot late and won their conference.
Yeah.
And my question is, what do you attribute that success to? Is because winning, we talk about on this show all the time, it's very hard to do. And yes, you did inherit a program that has a tradition of winning and had some recent success. But what do you attribute your leadership in this program to having that kind of success in the conference right off the bat, your first 3 years?
I think, again, you talk about standards and what you believe in. And I come from an old school mindset with Coach Billy Joe, and then also my father in terms of how he did things. And despite what some people may think, these kids, they want discipline. And sometimes when it comes down to it, the old school ways definitely still works. Although there's some adjustments that you got to make with the new school style and the social media and all that good stuff. And you got to be able to relate to these kids and do some of the things and understand some of the things that they go through. But other than that, discipline is discipline and standards are standards. And when you hold people accountable for everything and anything that they do, that leads to success. And that's all we've done. We believed in what we've been preaching. Our kids ended up starting believing in it. And I think for us, the biggest thing that sort of kind of rounded this thing off this year with the success is the trust that we've had in each other. I think these kids, I know these kids are afraid to let each other down on Saturdays. That's why we play the type of football that we play. If you watched us play this season, you see that these kids love playing with each other. You see the love that they have for each other, the effort, the energy that we play with. If you noticed last week, we got down 30-21, and they ran a kickoff back right after the kickoff of the second half. There was no panic on our sidelines. Our guys understood that we made a mistake. Let's make sure we don't make that mistake again. Let's keep playing football. And that's exactly what we did. But, we started speaking things into existence, right? Our players started speaking and talking about being champions, and they had to understand what that meant. We started talking and posting different things about being a champion. How do you be a champion? How do you carry yourself as a champion? And within all that, our players started believing in each other. They started encouraging each other. And then there's a lot of things that go on in our program that are player-led. Our Bible study is player-led. Anything that we do outside of football is player-led. We had a Thanksgiving turkey giveaway at a couple of the players' church on yesterday that was player-led. So there's things that go on within this program that makes this a total family atmosphere that is player-led, and then obviously is led by myself and the coaches to make sure that we're doing things the right way. And to me, that's what I attribute to the success. The trust that we all in this program have with each other, and we hold each other accountable. And that's not just me holding the kids accountable; they hold me accountable too. Because when I say something the wrong way, they get on me. And when I ain't doing, you know what I mean? I think I was late one time, and you'd have thought the world had came to an end. And but again, if that's the standards you're gonna set, you got to be able to live up to that standard as the coach as well. So when you make a mistake or something happens, and those kids gonna hold you to that same standard you're holding it to, and I love it at the end of the day.
Okay, go ahead, Marcus.
Well, welcome back, Coach. I'm glad to have you on, especially getting ready for this weekend. But I wanted to ask, what have you shared with your team as you're venturing through the playoffs this year, based on your playoff experience while you were at FAMU?
I think the biggest thing is to not make it more bigger than what it really is, because at the end of the day, we're playing football. These games aren't any bigger than the regular season games that we play. Yes, it's a win or go home mentality, so we got to understand that. But our preparation doesn't change. Our routine doesn't change. Obviously, this week being Thanksgiving, some things change in terms of our schedule, but our routine and our preparation doesn't change. We're going to approach this game just like we approached every single game that we've played this 2025 season. And we're not going to put any more emphasis on what this game really means in terms of the playoffs and all that good stuff. So for our guys, there's no pressure on them to go out and do anything any further or any more than what they've done all year. What I tell them, their best will win this football game, and that's all we ask of them is their best. And when it's all said and done, when you get off that field, if you ain't tired and you ain't gave your all, and if we didn't come out victorious, then we have a reason to not be happy. But if we go out there, we give our all, as we have all season long, I think they'll be happy with the results. But at the end of the day, there is no more emphasis on this game when it comes down to the playoffs or anything like that. What we've done is we've earned some extra opportunities to continue to play football. And with that, with the opportunities that we have, we just got to be able to take advantage of them and play the football that we've been playing at a high level. And if we continue to do that, the sky's the limit. We'll see how it goes.
Thank you, Coach.
I got two-parter here, Coach. One, I'd like your impression, and I think I'm right on this, but if I'm wrong, correct me. When you brought your team down to Tallahassee, that was the first time that you'd ever obviously coached or played on the visitors' sideline, if I'm not mistaken. So I'd like for you to.
No, I mean cut you off, but when I played, that was the home sideline, so it was comfortable.
Well, okay, let me rephrase that question. That was the first time you'd come into Bragg wearing colors other than orange and green. So I'd like for you to talk about that experience now that it's passed, and some time has passed. What you can share about that, because I'm sure your players know what your legacy is in Tallahassee and what it meant maybe for them to play for you, even though maybe you probably don't put that on them. But I'd like for you to talk about that. And then also young man Isaiah Knowles. I was just looking on the website. He's a finalist for the Harlan Hill Trophy, which for those who don't know is a Division II. It's like the Division II Heisman. It's for the top player in Division II. And when we watched him, we all watched him, most of us live, I was impressed. I mean, he looked like you back when you had command of the offense, you had Billy Joe's Gulf Coast offense, and we watched him call the plays, and he just was a surgeon on. So I'd like for you to talk about that relationship with him as a quarterback to a quarterback and coaching a young man with the kind of gifts that Isaiah Knowles has.
Well, the first thing to go back to October 13th, or is it September 13th? September 13th. That opportunity to be there, man, was surreal. To be back in Bragg Stadium in a different realm as a visiting coach and somebody who at that point, right then and there, was looked at as an outsider. You know what I mean? So it felt a little different. But at the end of the day, I didn't put any pressure or put any more emphasis on the fact that we were going to FAMU and it was my alma mater. Our guys that week felt like, hey, it's another opportunity to go win a football game. We saw the film, we watched the film, and when we were done watching film and studied, we felt like we had a good opportunity to go in there and win a football game. And that confidence that we had as coaches in terms of the game plan, we sort of kind of it permeated through our players in the preparation. So when we were in practice all week long, the mindset of our guys was we can go down here and win a football game. It wasn't, oh, we're playing a Division I school. It wasn't, oh, it's FAMU, this, that, or the other. But it was, hey, we got an opportunity to go down here and play a quality football team and possibly come out of there with a victory. And that's how we approached it. Yes, they questioned and had questions all week long, but at the end of the day, they didn't allow that to cloud their judgment in terms of how we needed to prepare throughout the week. They didn't allow that to get in the way of what we were going down there to do. It wasn't any type of distractions when it came down to me being back at FAMU or anything like that, as you could see in the way that we played, because I thought we went down there and played a tremendous football game. It's just unfortunate. After the half, we gave up two big plays that sort of kind of turned the tables for us. You're talking about a 70-yard touchdown right after the half, and then you're talking about a fumble on the ensuing kickoff that we suffered. So, and then at that point, there it is again. You saw the championship mindset of our team that continued to play and continued to fight, and which made it a close game. And you're talking about we're inches away from an offsides call to get the onside kick. So, we're able to get that onside kick. You're talking about a different conversation we might be having right now in terms of being 11-0 and 12-0 in our season. But at the end of the day, we don't cry with spoiled milk, and we're undefeated against Division II opponents, and hopefully we can stay that way this weekend. But Isaiah, let me just there's just so much to say about that young man. You know what I mean? You're talking about a two-time nominee for the Harlan Hill Trophy, which is the Heisman, the equivalent of the Heisman on the Division I level. And you're talking about one of the best young men I've ever been around in my life. The relationship that we have is indescribable when it comes down to coach player, because it goes beyond that. You're talking about a young man who just got engaged with his longtime girlfriend. And to know that at this juncture of your life is tremendous. You know what I mean? I would like to think that, we've set examples here as coaches, that the coaches that are married to influence him, because he got some great parents that has been a great example for him in his life and things like that. But you're talking about a kid that just this week, man, we're in practice, and this is just an example. We're in practice. He's like, Coach, listen, we noticed this and I can't say it out loud because it's just some things we saw on film. But hey, Coach, how about we do this? And I said, listen, man, if you saw your game plan, it's already on there. But it was on a section in the game plan that we don't do until Wednesday, and it was Tuesday. So he hadn't gone ahead and looked at the things for Wednesday yet, but it was already on there because I had thought about it and I didn't want to forget it. So he comes to me and he's like, Coach, what if we run this? Hey, man, check your game plan. It's already on there. So to have a kid that is in your mind as you play, as a play caller like that, that's the success that we've had. That is the reason for the success, because he thinks just like me. In my mind, and not to toot his horn or mine, but in the Fort Valley game, we let him call 2 or 3 series, and he went down and scored on one of them. You know what I mean? Once we got up enough, and that's how I know the trust that we have in each other, the trust that we have in him, and then on top of that, the young man that he is. I can speak all day on him is in terms of the type of football player he is, but I can speak for years and months about the young man that he is, because you're talking about a kid that's graduated already, still has another year of eligibility, working on his master's and things of that magnitude, and is just a complete and total team player. There's not a kid or a person on our team that wouldn't say who's the unquestioned leader of this program outside of the head coach, right? But just a tremendous young man that comes from a great family, and does is a faith-based kid. He gives all his credit due to our Lord and Savior, and that's one of the other things that separates him from a lot of people, because a lot of people think that this stuff comes easy, and it doesn't. And he takes the good with the bad. He went through his injuries and all that good stuff. He's fully recovered, and he's playing top level football right now, which is what we need at this time of the year.
Thank you, Coach. Go ahead, Kelvin.
I'm gonna hit you with 2 for 2.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is, they always say it's very difficult to beat a team 3 times in a row in the same season.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're going into when you play Benedict this Saturday. Just talk about, the difference between game 1 and game 2 in general terms, and having to play a team for a 3rd time who's in your conference in order to go to the next level. And then my second question goes to, hey, with a lot of success, Coach, there's a lot of people watching, and you become a hot name. So I just kind of want to know I know you're not thinking about that long right now, but just, how do you go about your decision about, well, I'm going to listen to this offer and consider? I'd just like to know how you kind of look at that kind of whole thing from a coach's standpoint.
Well, to answer your first question, if we're going back a little bit in history, 1994, 1995, FAMU played Southern 3 times in a calendar year. I think they played in the 94 Heritage Bowl. They played them in the season and then played them again in the Heritage Bowl. And FAMU couldn't do nothing. We couldn't do nothing with them. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I think the biggest difference between game 1 and game 2 for us was we weren't as physical as we would have liked to be in game 2. Benedict came with a really good game plan and did some things that we hadn't seen in game 1, which we'll be prepared for in game 3. So we're there. Those little wrinkles that they showed us in the second game, in the championship game, are things that we hadn't necessarily prepared for because we hadn't seen it. And I think, as a coaching staff, if we go back, because we've watched all 11 games that they've played this year, and a zebra can't change his stripes in his week, and a tiger can't change his stripes in a week. So at the end of the day, they know us, we know them, and in this case for us, we truly believe, and we've harped on this all week long with our players, the most physical team and the team that controls and holds on to the football more is going to win this football game. And for us, the physical part of it is who we are and what we do up front as an O-line. And we know we're led by our trenches. Our defensive line getting pressure on the quarterback and our offensive line protecting and opening up holes for our guys is what we definitely hang our hat on. And if we play well in those two situations on the offensive and defensive side of the football, we like our chances in this third opportunity to go against Benedict. But to sort of kind of just answer or give some precedence to your question about the coaching realm and things coming, what happens, man, is what Coach Gray won't do. Coach Gray will never talk about or give an opinion about a job that ain't open. Because at the end of the day, I wouldn't want people to talk about my job if it ain't open. Although some of that is going on because everybody figures or thinks that Coach Gray is going somewhere. Because at the end of the day, Coach Gray is happy where he is at Albany State. What some folks don't realize is I'm only losing 6 seniors this upcoming year, and I want to say there's only 4 of them that are really, really major contributors. So next year I'm going to be returning 17 to 18 starters off this team, and what we're doing in recruiting right now leads to us to think that we're going to have even a better team. Or hope to have a better team than what we have right now with the way that we're playing football right now, because you're going to have some younger guys that'll be older, have big game experience, championship experience, and playoff experience. So, at the end of the day, while opportunities are coming because we are winning, or opportunities may come because we are winning, it has to be a special opportunity for us to even think about listening to it, because at the end of the day, our administration, our athletic department has done a tremendous job of giving us what we need to be successful as a program. And our kids have finally bought into who it is and what it is that we're trying to be. And it's going to be hard to leave what we've built here. So at the end of the day, I'm on what Tremaine Jackson's on. When you win, everybody want to be around and say this and say that. But at the end of the day, my feet are planted here at Albany State, especially with what we got going on right now, because my mind hasn't been on any of that at the moment.
Appreciate you.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Coach, I kind of want to follow up on Kelvin's question a little bit. And this doesn't necessarily reflect on where you are because of the success you've had hitting the ground running and putting your fingerprint on the program. But on the coaching profession as a whole, we've seen a lot of churn, mid-season churn as well. And has that, well, I guess the 2 questions I have you seen that at the Division II level? Most of the time it's at the FBS Division I level, where you have like a mid-season change or something happen before a contract is complete. But have you seen it at the Division II level, and has it really changed? Have you seen that change within the last few years based on some of the, I guess, dynamics within college football changing in terms of money, NIL, and expectations?
Well, for us, to answer your first question, you're not going to get that on a Division II level because just to be honest with you, unless it just is just that bad and there's issues within the program and you've lost control of your kids and things of that magnitude, 9 times out of 10 in a Division II program, they'll probably wait till the season's over to make those kind of decisions. And because at the end of the day, you don't want to necessarily when you're not winning, obviously things may go a little bit awry, but at the end of the day, I think, most Division IIs from a financial situation, they don't they tend to allow things to play out, right? More so than the Division I schools that have maybe a different financial situation going on, especially on the FBS level, Power 4 level, when money ain't an issue. Right, because they got donors that's sitting on the fence with their hands tucked under their chin, waiting to get that phone call so they can go ahead and donate to get whoever out of there that they're trying to get out of there. But on this level, Division II level, I think you have administrations that understand what it truly means to have coaches and understand what coaches go through, so they don't necessarily have the issues that some of these FBS and Power 4 schools have when it comes down to getting rid of coaches and the pressure of getting rid of coaches. Now, you got some of the HBCUs and some of the bigger programs on the Division II level that you may hear some noise. Albany State, the Winston-Salems of the world, the Fort Valleys of the world, that some of the blue blood, the Tuskegees of the world, some of the blue bloods of the SIAC and some of the blue bloods of HBCU Division II culture, because their fan bases are similar to some of the bigger colleges in terms of the expectation from their coaches and from those football programs. So you'll hear some of that in terms of noise, but at the end of the day, I think the administrations and the athletic departments are a little bit more patient when it comes down to making those decisions, because at the end of the day, what they can't do is they can't afford to go out and get coaches, what some people would consider the upper level coaches, because they have to be able to be strategic in the coaches that they go after, right? Because at the end of the day, you don't want to hire a coach right after the season's over, and then a Division I may come poach that coach from you, and then you're stuck again looking for another coach. So I think Division IIs are a little bit more strategic and a little bit more patient when it comes down to hiring, because we don't have the cutoff dates with the new cutoff dates with the portal and all that good stuff that comes into play. So when it comes down to it, I think Division II schools are a little bit more patient when it comes down to that in the firing of coaches. But I think if I'm not mistaken, your other question was more so about just the coaching business and with the advent of the portal and the ability to bring kids in and pay kids and be able to have success immediately per se, the leash has gotten shorter year in and year out on coaches, and it's unfortunate because at the end of the day, this is without the portal, the game of football is still about development. You still have to develop these kids, despite bringing in what you may feel is a ready-made player, there's still some development that has to take place. Whether it's over the spring, whether it's in the fall, whether there's development that has to take place, because that player that's coming in there doesn't know your culture, doesn't know your coaching style, doesn't know your campus, there's development that has to take place, and that's going to continue to have to take place throughout that period of time that student athlete is there. So while we're able to pay these kids to come here and play football, at the end of the day, especially on the FCS level, there still has to be a mindset of development, because without that, I just believe the game of college football is just heading into the realm of professional football, professional sports, especially on that Power 4 level. Now, when you talk about the group of 4 or group of 5, and then you talk about the FCS level, there's still development that's going on. There's still, I think, when you get down to those lower levels, the FCS and the Division IIs, you're still talking about kids that love the game, because they aren't necessarily playing for money. They're playing because they love the opportunity. They're playing because they still love the game of football, and they still have championship aspirations. But when you get to that Power 4 level, you get to that Group of 5 level, the mindset changes, because it's all about money and how much money I can make, how much money I could get, and then who's the highest bidder when it comes down to that. So for me, I think, in this coaching culture, in this coaching business, I think you just got to be smart about the jobs that you take. You know what I mean? Unless you're getting the LSU head coach buyouts, and you ain't got $54 million on your buyout, and I don't know if it's worth taking them jobs, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, man, and to me, man, you look at some of this stuff, you see these coaches taking these jobs. Sometimes you sit back and think, well, dang, all right, do they go there? Obviously, you will go there to win, but if they don't, they ain't mad, because they're going to make more money not coaching than they was coaching. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man, this business has become very, very cutthroat. And it's more so a business now with that involves a lot of money. And when it comes down to it, man, that's what college football is coming to. And it's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, I still love the innocence of it on the lower levels. If you play in Division II football at Albany State, you better love football, because you still need to get your degree. You still need to make sure that you're doing the things that you need to do to be successful in life, because there ain't nothing promised to you, especially no NIL, because we ain't got it.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, Coach, I got one good question, which I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of good questions, but one that I thought was real appropriate comes from a good one of our regular chat folks, Lil Baby, who asked, "What's the biggest impression you want to leave on your players outside of the game of football?"
I think for me, man, it's if there's an impression that I want to make sure that I leave on them is to become better men, right? Like I said, Isaiah just got engaged to his girlfriend, and I'm hoping that I had something to do with that. You know what I mean? As a man, because again, we're trying to raise these or build these kids into great fathers, great husbands, and great leaders once they leave this program. They know that I'm a God-fearing man, and if there's anything more than I can do to help them, and that's to make sure that they believe in a higher power. I know it's frowned upon. Coach Sanders, Coach Prime got in trouble a little bit this year with that. But when it comes down to these HBCUs, man, we hang our hat on our faith, because at the end of the day, that's all we got. And our kids understand that. Obviously, we don't force that on them. But at the end of the day, that's been at the forefront of our program this year. And I wholeheartedly believe that's why we're having the success that we've had. But when it comes down to it, man, in terms of the impact that we as coaches and especially myself and my coaching staff, when it comes down to the impression that we want to leave on our guys, is just that we want to make sure that they leave here with degrees and rings, right? They got a ring this year already, trying to get 2. And we got about 7 guys graduating in about 2 weeks, and then another 8 to 9 in the spring. So fortunately for us, we're seemingly doing things the right way in this championship mindset and championship mindset off the field as well when it comes down to our academics. So hopefully that's the biggest impression that I'm leaving on our guys, to make sure that they're becoming productive young men and being productive citizens in this country.
Nice.
Brian, let me jump in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Coach, so tell me about your Thanksgiving and what you're doing with your team and what you're doing with your family. I know it's rough, right now.
It's rough. I ain't gonna lie to you, Rose. It's rough, man, because right now I'm here at the house. I'm at my house in Albany by myself. My wife is down there with the family in Tallahassee, with her family in Tallahassee, enjoying her time. But obviously for us, man, we're here working. We got out of practice at about 3 o'clock today, because we normally practice at 6:30 a.m. and we're done by 9. But it rained quite a bit this morning, so we pushed practice back a bit. So I'm y'all. What time is it now? It's about 9:30. So y'all pushing into my bedtime, because I usually get up by 4 and be in meetings in 5. So,
yeah.
But no, all seriousness, man. Thanksgiving for us, we'll practice in the morning. We'll get our meetings out of the way a little bit earlier. Get our lift in, our players' Bible study in, all before 1 o'clock. And then after that, we'll let them go. Some kids are local. Some kids are a little less than an hour away. So we'll let those guys go spend time with their families. And then those kids that are a little bit farther away, we'll have dinner for those guys at around 5 to celebrate the Thanksgiving holiday. But most importantly, just making sure that these kids understand what Thanksgiving is all about. You know what I mean? It ain't about eating turkey and ham and things of that magnitude. It's about making sure that you understand that giving of yourself is what's most important. And I ain't necessarily talking about, because what I think our guys understand and what we preach is, it ain't about monetary. It ain't always about giving money and giving financial help. It's about giving of your time, because that's the most precious thing that we have is time. And when you're giving of yourself, giving of your time, man, people appreciate that more than financial help, because you give of your time. You can give money and not care, but if you give of your time, that means you definitely care about what you got going on.
Absolutely.
Well said. Appreciate you, Coach. Just want to let everybody know and remind everybody, in case you didn't know, the Albany State Golden Rams will be playing Benedict College Tigers Saturday in Albany, Georgia at Albany State University Coliseum, 1 p.m. Eastern. It will be on ESPN+, but I guarantee it's a beautiful stadium, beautiful facilities. I don't know what the weather's going to be like, but, if I wasn't traveling to Mississippi, I'd be there. I know Rozier's going to be there.
That's right.
But,
that's right.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're going to encourage any and everybody who's in the area that's not
right,
making a road
Rattlers.
trip. Yeah, you guys get up there. This should be a good game. This is going to be a great game. The blue turf, it's going to be tough to beat. It's going to be tough to beat the Golden Rams on the blue turf.
Right.
So be in the house, and if you can't be there, make sure you turn to ESPN+, 1 o'clock Eastern, to watch this battle between the best two teams in the SIAC, and should be worth it. Probably somebody will walk away being called the HBCU Division II national champs. I think you 1 and 2. I don't look. That's what they say. That's what they say.
I don't know. I don't know if we ain't already. I don't know if we ain't already earned that. But at the end of the day, we can make this that game if we want to.
Well said. Well said. Hey, Coach. We wish
Coach, I'm gonna say it for you. 2 is more than 1.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Exactly. Hey, Coach, man, we appreciate your time tonight. Happy Thanksgiving to you, your family, your coaches, the staff, the players, everybody. Very gracious for taking some time out. But on this night where we celebrate champions, we had to celebrate you and your staff and your team on what you guys have done. And we wish you all the best. And we're rooting for you this Saturday.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving to you, brothers, all your families and things of that magnitude. God bless you, and thank you for having me, man.
All right,
yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Quinn Gray, head coach, Albany State Golden Rams. All right, Coach. Appreciate you.
All right. Take care.
All right. Good stuff. We appreciate Coach for joining us. Good conversation. Let's go ahead and take our break and come back, and let's get into a few more things as we still have a few nuggets to talk about. There is a little bit of basketball action happening. Maybe we'll get Marcus's thoughts from the Florida Classic. Get ready for the final football regular season game, which will be played on Saturday in Itabena. So we'll talk about all that as we get ready to wind down our Thanksgiving Eve edition of the O&G StrikeZone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
Stop being messy, EA.
I can only imagine. We'll be back in just a moment.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Planning an event? From weddings to corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC brings over 15 years of experience to make your vision a reality. Based in Metro Atlanta and serving statewide, even internationally, we provide versatile event planning and authentic catering cuisines tailored to your needs. Whether it's pre-game meals for student athletes, fundraisers, weddings, corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC is your one-stop solution for exceptional service and unforgettable food. Our diverse culinary heritage means we cater to all cultural taste, dietary needs, and food restrictions, making every meal uniquely yours. Let's make your next event unforgettable. Visit us on all social media at CMJ Events LLC or email us at cmjeventsllc@gmail.com. Also give us a call at 404-664-3882 so that we can start planning now.
College football fans, a champion will rise in Atlanta on December 13th. MEAC champion, SWAC champion, the 10th Cricket Celebration Bowl, crowning an HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and parenting education coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and Instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
ESPN Events presents Red Lobster Band of the Year. Returning to Atlanta on December 12th, 4 bands will qualify for the big stage, where 2 national champions will be crowned. Follow us for rankings updates throughout the season, and join us on December 12th. For event and ticket information, visit bandoftheyear.com.
All right, welcome back to the O&G StrikeZone. Bryan, Marcus, Kelvin, the band's all here. Appreciate again Coach Quinn Gray for taking some time out to join us.
Great answers. Very seasoned. Very seasoned guy.
No doubt. No doubt, for sure. Good Lord. Well, all right, that one wasn't going to work. Marcus, first off, let me say appreciate everybody for checking out and tuning in to the Monday night review. I cannot emphasize to you, if you missed it, you missed a show. You missed a show for the ages. I mean, a great show. Special guest, Coach Johnny Cole, Bishop Bonnet, joining me, Kelvin, Keith, Troy, Tashay, Ashley, Mr. Campbell. I mean, what a who's who. The Avengers, the Super Friends, whatever you want to coin it. But man, what's some great commentary, man, for almost 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And I'm telling you,
it didn't even seem like 3 hours either.
Yeah. Nobody was trying to, go home, right? Get off, right? The only thing I want to say is between you, Keith, I don't know which one it was a combination of who gets the credit, but starting that breakdown where we have the clips and we bringing down some of the big play clips, man, that thing is magic. We've got to take that to another level. Yeah.
Yeah,
we got to take that to another level.
Keith's idea, I think I always had that thought, so it was good to see Keith come through and be able to help provide the idea about getting the clips and really breaking it down the way we have. And it's been some great insight that you guys have been dropping. And so I want to encourage everybody to, you can always go back and check it out on our YouTube page. It's available.
Man, EA is in rare form tonight. He's on it.
Wait a minute, what'd he say? Yeah. No, we may not do a show on Monday. Yeah, I'm just gonna tell you that now. But anyway, good stuff. Appreciate everybody. So Marcus, what was your thoughts and impressions from the game? What kind of things stood out from you? Obviously you were watching it. You were on the chat with us, but couldn't be there on Monday. So I want to give you your opportunity to share.
Well, you started out slow, and I was getting a little worried because actually I was out finishing something. I can't remember what I was doing Saturday, but I was like watching on my phone. I had to go back and forth and come and watch on TV. But it kind of disturbed me a little bit, in the slow start in terms of getting that fumble on BCU's opening drive and not cashing in on it with the touchdown. It's kind of symbolic of what we've seen during the course of the season. And then things got a little bit away from us in the in the second quarter for the halftime lead. So, that concerned me a little bit. And I know Jay mentioned a lot, Jay Walker, during the broadcast. I mean, BCU's receivers were quick and they really exposed. And like we talked about before, it was going to be our strength against their weakness and vice versa. And they took advantage of the current state of our defensive backfield. And you could see the differences. I mean, those guys were like, psh, psh. And I think when we have speed guys as well, so it was a good, in terms of comparing wide receiver core, I think it's a matchup. But in terms of the DBs that they're going against, I think BCU had an advantage, and it started to come through in the second quarter. And also that long run we gave up, the second week in a row. It's like, okay, right up the gut. And that guy was a lot faster than the Alabama A&M guy. So we caught it. And so, I mean, they showed some fortitude in the first half, and they came out, and they were probably feeling good about themselves. But we turned it around and started, put some clamps on coming out of halftime. And I was really pleased with the mix. I was worried about it at the end just because in terms of a pure shootout, it turns out that it was a shootout, but I wasn't sure if we had the horses to go a full half for a shootout, but it turns out we did. And unfortunately, the team that had the ball last with a good chance of scoring actually did.
Isn't it crazy how that worked out?
But I think in the second half, because I was worried in the first half, I was like, oh gosh, we gave up 24 in the first half. What's it going to look like in the second half? And so outside of their two drives the two touchdowns were results of less than ideal execution. I'll say that. But in terms of long drives, I mean, they did explosive plays. But in terms of long drives, I think we pretty much had them bottled up, with the exception of those two explosive plays where the execution wasn't where it could have been or should have been, that would have altered the outcome of the game.
Yeah, to your point, we shut them out in the third quarter. Also, what helped keep us in the game, because we put up 18 points in the fourth quarter, but what also kept us in the game was they missed 2 field goals. The defense held. The defense did hold and keep him from getting in the end zone. They ended up missing a couple of field goals, but that was the brief period of time where our defense really was a factor in this game, a positive factor.
Gail had sent me the bold predictions from this game. I love Gail. Gail says, she says, well, these bold predictions are not working. She said, maybe for the last game. She said, maybe for the last game, we make no bold predictions and just pray more. So that's appreciate Gail. But here's the summary. Marcus, you predicted a 31-28 FAMU win. You said Haley over 200 combined yards. Jamal Haley over 200 combined yards. Not close. I don't even think he had over 100 combined. I know he had 78 rush. Yeah, not even half of that. Let me see. I predicted 41-31. I said we score on the first offensive possession. I got that right. I didn't say touchdown, so I got that right. We did score on our first offensive possession. I probably meant touchdown. And I said a punt return touchdown. Yeah, I didn't get that either. Kelvin probably would be the closest. He predicted 38-28. Thad over 100 yards, but he said 2 touchdowns. Thad actually had over 100. Well, he had over 100, but only 1 touchdown. And you, of course, said if we kick to number 5, he will score a touchdown. Well, he scored a touchdown, not by a kick, but He kicked us in the cojones.
We was kicking in number 9 though. We weren't trying to kick number 5.
Yeah. So
no, one good thing, because I knew we would have to pooch kick because we weren't going to try to kick it to the returners, but I don't recall any of them scooting out of bounds. And I know in the past earlier in the season,
their returners, what they did is because they had some dynamic freshman running backs, they put those running backs as the up back. So when we kicked short, those dudes caught the ball, and one of them, on a couple of them, had a return, like he caught it at the 15, got all the way to the 40, 45-yard line. I mean,
is that number 20? I've forgotten his name.
Number 20. Dominguez, I think is his name, or they got 2 guys though, but they have 3 freshmen. They've got a heck of a running back stable, honestly. They really do. And they just, I think our best strategy, I think we realized after the first 2 kicks, the best strategy is to just kick the ball into the end zone as best as possible.
And as they shared with us, their radio broadcast team shared with us after the game, it's going to be tough for them to keep some of those guys.
Oh, for sure.
Ross especially. Yeah, he's the bigger school's going to try to poach him.
Well, I've seen the one kid, Robinson, he's been quite active on social media, posting his game highlights from the year. He hadn't quite said he's in the portal, but
he's saying,
come on, when you start, yeah, exactly. When you start posting game highlights and stuff like that, you essentially, that's stuff that kids at my high school do to try to get recruited. Right. So
we saw that a couple of years ago when I think it was the year before we won the Celebration Bowl. Coming out of the 2022 season, we saw some players. It's like, okay, it's January. Why are you posting your highlights? And it seems a little bit more than pure narcissism.
Yeah. We that's code for hey, over here, available. See me, look at what I did. So trust me, that's all next minute you'll see. And I think for some of those guys, I think they are probably waiting to see what the future is for Coach Woody, because if they don't give him an extension, well, that's a free shot to jump into the portal and see who wants you. So it'll be real interesting and strategic to see what Bethune does.
And along with that, Bryan, there's a lot of within just HBCU's football, but it's same way in the FBS. There's so many open coaches positions right now, and the dominoes haven't started to fall yet. So, they're gonna have to wait for some of that anyway. But anyway, that window doesn't open until January, so they have time.
I saw something today that we still have an early signing day, and I was wondering if they changed that. We still have an early signing day in December,
right?
And I was curious, and I know the legislation just came down to have the 15-day window at the beginning of January for the portal opening, but I didn't know if they had altered the early signing day to accommodate for the portal, or if they're just trying to separate it so it's not such a log jam and such a.
Honestly, I just follow the money, Marcus. They don't want those kids messing up the bowl games by jumping in the portal and not playing in the bowl games. That's why they moved that. That's why they moved it January.
And I'm totally I'm fine with that. Now the problem with that, the give and take to that is, kids have to still have the opportunity to enroll.
That's right.
At a new school.
It's intentional.
So it almost
kind of messes them up, right?
It does. It almost makes sense to really, that portal needs to happen probably in April, where you can start clean at a new school in May. I mean, if we're really concerned, and I'm not that they are or aren't, but if you were really concerned about the best time for a student, then you would, And if you were serving 2 masters and not wanting to ruin your bowl season, then the only season that you could do it then is after spring practices, right? After April.
Hey, you talking about coaches now finna get contracts for $15 million. All right, so the suit gonna happen again, and they're going all this gonna get. It's gonna be a couple of years for this bit hashed out, but at the end of the day, you can't hold those kids hostage to April, and these coaches jump anytime they want to and getting paid $15 million a year. That's the bottom line. The kids ain't going for it. They're not, and rightfully so. It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, you talked about those dominoes starting to fall. I'd already started seeing, I just think I think there was a couple of coaching moves already made in the last day.
Yeah, Franklin, Virginia Tech, that kind of stuff.
Yes, USF coach leaving for Arkansas, UConn coach leaving for Colorado State. So when you leave one program and it opens up a door at the next level for somebody, right? And while we're talking SWAC news, one of the latest rumors that is pretty much it's being confirmed via I think it's WANB, a reporter for Southern or Baton Rouge ABC affiliate, saying that Southern is prepared to name Marshall Faulk, the Hall of Fame running back, former St. Louis Ram. I think that's primarily who he's most known for. I know he played for the Colts in the end. He was drafted by my Colts. Yep. Could have been one of the biggest trade disappointments had we never drafted Edgerrin James. But anyway, he looks like he's going to be the next head coach at Southern. I've heard some reports that there were some well-known established HBCU current coaches that were in consideration for the Southern job, but I'm not going to put that out there. But let's just say they are very well-known names.
Current coaches.
Current coaches. So that could have been a interesting dynamic had some of those guys taken that job. But needless to say, there's going to be opportunities out there for guys like, honestly, guys like a Chinnis Berry, maybe a few other people that, that Willie Simmons or Jerry Mack opportunity that those 2 HBCU coaches got because of their success. Those opportunities are going to be there for them, possibly, right? So be interesting to see what happens. So apparently a news conference is scheduled for Monday, or maybe their official news will come out from the university on Monday. Maybe that's what, but expect that report to be festering, going all into the Bayou Classic week. How about that? The Bayou Classic is this weekend, and all anybody's going to be talking about is the next Southern head coach.
Well, if that's the hire and it becomes official because it's already leaking out, I predict they're going to have to announce that Friday.
Well, yeah, somebody will confirm it. Might as well, right?
Yeah.
Might as well. All right. We also know who the SWAC championship game will be. Will be between Jackson State and Prairie View. It'll be at Jackson State. It'll be next Saturday, 1 o'clock. 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 Central, I think is what the time frame is.
2 clear best teams in the SWAC. Clear.
Alabama State might have something to say about that. But
I think both of them played Alabama State. Alabama State is in the midst, but they both they didn't win.
Prairie View. Alabama State beat Prairie View,
and they lost to Jackson State by 3. It's not significant.
No, well, I think what is interesting though, when I just kind of bumped around the SWAC stat pages and just looking for an angle, dude, these teams are 1 and 2 or 1, 2, or 3. in practically every category you can think of.
Yep.
Offense, defense, special teams, third down conversions, fourth down, opponent's third down, opponent. I mean, literally the two best offenses and defenses, or at two of the three best. Two of the three best.
Yes.
Are in this game. I mean, so say what you want. I don't know. I don't know how anyone's gonna handicap this game other than flipping a coin, because
either team can win it for sure.
Yeah. So obviously this Saturday, the Bayou Classic takes place. I don't know the exact game time. And then, of course, we have our game where the Rattlers will take on Mississippi Valley State. Free for anybody in the area.
Just walk on by.
Come on by. Come on in. I'm curious to see what kind of attendance that'll draw. But I'm just sitting here looking at some of the statistical numbers for Valley. Offensively, Valley, lowest scoring offense in the conference, 16.8 points a game.
Means nothing against
defensively. Defensively, they allow the most at 39.4. I mean, as bad as Southern's numbers are, Valley is worse in terms of every offensive category there.
Ain't that Southern the only win?
Southern hasn't won. Southern hasn't played them, so they can't get that win.
Yeah,
Southern
they did.
never played Valley. No, they did not. Well, okay, I'm sorry.
Who they beat?
First game of the season.
They beat Valley.
My mistake.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats now because I'm curious to know.
Conference record speaking, that did not count. But had Southern probably never played Valley, they wouldn't have a win. You're
correct.
Right. So there you go. Yardage wise, Valley offensive yardage wise, lowest. The only school in the conference averaging less than 300 yards a game. Just remember that. Remember that. Rattler defense, remember that. They're the only school to average less than 300 yards.
Okay.
All right. Let's keep that in consideration.
I know we're going to handicap this game.
Defensively, they allow 400 yards a game, which is, let me see, where does that fall? There's several teams that allow 400. Actually, we allow more per game than them. Wow. Yes. I was shocked that we were flying too. Oh, wow. I am thankful. We're flying into Jackson, Mississippi, staying in Jackson, and then we'll be driving busing over to
y'all be watching the color purple on the way to the stadium.
Miss Seeley. I'll be looking for all the Jackson hot spots Friday night. Trying to get out. I'm just debating on if I should wear black or should I actually even attempt to wear orange and green. I don't know. I have to reach out to Derek. And kind of see.
He'll get you
where
around.
He will be. Yeah, there's a couple spots in Jackson I always hear people talk about that I'd love to hit. I don't know.
It's a restaurant downtown that have live music. That's really great food, great atmosphere. I'll try to find a name and send it to you.
All right. I don't know how you even handicap this game, fellas. What should be the goal and expectation for this FAMU team going up against Valley after the disappointment of the Florida Classic? Kelvin, we'll start with you.
I'm warning Rattler Nation right now.
Uh-oh.
Regardless of what they record, and they did it to us last year. Regardless of their record, we have to show up to play. We have to mentally be in this game because their head coach is a Florida guy. Their head coach, my understanding is that our dignitaries, believe it or not, will be at this game. I'm talking president and maybe the new AD.
Are you serious?
That's what I'm hearing now. I don't know. We'll see.
Wow.
The other connection I will make is I knew AD played 3 or 4 years with their head
Buckley?
coach.
With
Yes.
Buckley? Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And Charlie Ward.
Oh, yeah, I read that. About the Charlie Ward.
So Valley.
Trap. What kind of trap are we talking about?
There's no trap.
There's no game. There's no trap. There's no game after this. What kind of trap could this be, little baby?
I get what little baby's saying. You know, we done lost the classic. Some players maybe want to, fold it in and move on. And for Valley, it's like a Super Bowl for them. So, yeah, we have to be careful is what all I'm saying. It's a game we can win, we should win, but all them stats and numbers you just said, Valley's always hard. Even when we were good, even with Willie, that has always been a tough place to play Valley and Valley. And you add to the fact that you might have 10 people in the stands and it's going to be cold. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be an easy game.
No. Yeah, especially, and the thing that kicks in my mind, and I know, we're swirling around a whole bunch of FSU ties, but the one classic I always think about is the game when what was the wide right, when they lost to Miami by 1 point in 91. And that next week they had to play Florida, and you could just see how they played. They were just like, and the FSU was just like out of it because their national championships hopes got dashed. And so that was always, to me, that always sticks in my mind of the heartbreak or the carryover effect of losing a game, that you thought you had won and you had a chance and you had goals and everything. So that's why I understand, little baby saying it's a trap game, because it's very easy to get disappointed and allow that to carry over. Plus, I think last year coming in, we had the same feeling losing the Prairie View, and that pretty much put us out of contention for the conference. We still needed Jackson to lose a game or two, but that pretty much crashed. And then I think between complacency and that being despondent contributed. And maybe even overlooking Valley, not knowing much about Nate. I can't think of his last name now.
Rembert.
Yeah, Nate Rembert scored 2 touchdowns last year for Valley, and then scored 2 touchdowns this year for Jackson, and both in Bragg. But I think that had an impact as well. So yeah, this is something, and I guess with Kelvin breaking the news that with dignitaries maybe showing up, it could be an evaluation of how the team responds, and maybe an evaluation across the other sideline. If you're speculating. Plus, it's a long trip. It's cold.
Yeah. It's a
and
lot.
I just did the numbers.
Yeah,
I just did the numbers. They average. Now, they had an outlier when Jackson came to Itabena. So they had about 8,900 people based on their box score. But the average for the other 3 home games they have is about 3,400 people. And that was when the weather was warm.
What's the weather report looking like? What y'all see? Somebody said 57.
If it's gonna be in here in the 30s at night and 50s, 60s, it's got to be at least that there. So should be pretty cool. Should be cold.
Man. All right, now I'm nervous. Now I don't know what kind of how to dress for this thing.
Bring a jacket.
I disagree with "Keep It Up, Fam." I'm seeing the post there, because I don't know, you guys. I don't know if you saw in the Google Drive, but I had like a whole little document typed up. But I don't know if I'm gonna do all that. But we can stay on the Valley game, but I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with that comment, because people have been calling for it since last year when we got upset by Valley, and it's only grown steam because.
Well, look, if we want to say, all right, let's just be 100 here. If we want to say where all things start to go wrong, it starts there. right? I mean, the worst team in HBCU football gets their only win of the season, which ends one of the longest home winning streaks, right? That's where it all goes wrong. Now, granted, this season was a tough home schedule. So there's nothing to say that anything would have changed this season in terms of wins and losses at home. But we would have at least started the season with, I don't know, what, a 27-game home win streak? Something like that, 26. But it would have just been a different vibe. It's like almost as if that event, if we would have never sit what's his name up there on stage to give a speech at commencement. It's, you know, things that are said would have never been said had that event never have happened. And it's not to say anything that currently is happening would be any different, but it would, you know, that wouldn't be hanging over us. And so you come out of that, you start the season the way we did, and it's just been there. I mean, and then you lose. So if you say the beginning and end of our season, look, we lost 2 games. If this season finishes 6-6, you'll go back and look at 2 games,
2 plays,
and 2 plays, and say we should be 8-4, could be, should be, whatever, coulda, shoulda, woulda, whatever. But that's how far away you are from being 8-4. And so I get it. I guess I just don't. Yeah, I get it. I'm just going to stop there and just say I get it.
I get it, but also have some feelings, and I'm not going to go into the big super long thing. And I didn't see any of the Monday night wrap-up show, so I'm not sure, you know, what takes all of the Avengers had as it relates to the comments, because I think a lot of the comments that Coach Cozy made during the coaches call probably stirred up the pot even more. But Kelvin's known me since, you know, either through the chat boards and the MEAC fans or what, almost going on 25 years. Yeah. And I've never been like the fire, you know, fire, all this type stuff. And that just kind of, I've never was like on that bandwagon unless it was like extreme, or, you know, you lost the team, you did something illegal, you know, wins or losses. I mean, I can understand that, but like some things I'm like, I don't necessarily agree with that. And I'm kind of in that same boat here, but I'm going to ask this question, and it's a kind of rhetorical question. You guys can give me feedback. Let me see, if the fan base in general is clamoring for a particular candidate or a particular type of candidate and it doesn't work, who's held accountable?
Let me answer that question the way I'm going to answer this question, though, right? And I'm going to bring into that also the comments. I'm always typically, like you say, unless something NCAA wise or ethical wise has happened, I kind of like for folks to get their contract at least 3 years. That's kind of my position. In terms of fan bases and their influence, and let's face it, FAMU is a kind of different monster, and the expectation standards are what they are, and rightfully so. I think even Coach Simmons has pointed out, even when you ask for something and you challenge them, you know, we typically come through as much as we can. 2 things can be true. Now, to answer your question, 2 things can be true. I think we talk a lot about support from a external situation. We talk about
some of the things, nutrition and resources and alumni giving and percentage and I think that's short-sightedness, because I would tell you the internal politics in terms of our university with athletics is a bigger factor. And I mentioned that there was a conversation that was had with a high-ranking official after the volleyball game, and a general conversation came up. And one of the things that were pointed out that was dead on, had everybody nodding their head, was got to have stability.
Oh my gosh.
Got to have stability at the president level, at the AD level. And so some of those kind of things are true. But it's also true that ain't stopping you from being successful. That ain't got nothing to do with the loss to Bethune or the loss to Howard. Those are things that you can control as a coach, and your team getting better and looking better from game 1 to game 11. The things that people rate or rank or judge on. I mean, we all get judged at what we do, no matter what our job is. So I mean, that part, it's kind of is what it is, but decisions are made all the time, and rarely does. Let's put it this way: one of the truest things that I have a good friend who always say, "Rallies, we don't always have a say in who get hired, but we always have a say in who gets fired." And that culture still is this. That hasn't changed. So we are where we are. I think everybody can agree. There's things we can do as a university to support our programs much better. Absolutely. That's true. That's a true statement. There's also things that a specific program could do better. APR, wins, because the other programs, even with all this transition, they're acing it.
Yeah.
So some of those things pointing back. Go ahead.
Now, I do have a question about that, and I don't want to get deep in my y'all can read it, in the Google Docs, and I hadn't really finished it, but that was one of the other things, was that the premise I was going off of was that this is more of a rebuild and a reload than we may have imagined, in terms of the number of players that left, who left, whether it was graduation or the portal after coach left. And also there's been, I guess, hints or whatever about APR, either, this past year, the numbers that have come out, or what's coming up. And I guess either a not so well-kept mandate about needing to improve the APR because all the other programs are doing pretty good. There's something improved for football. And so you're losing 40 plus players who either there were like 41 players. I look back at the roster that I had downloaded like 2 or 3 years ago for our preview. There are like 41 players who were on that championship team who were either seniors, redshirt seniors, or graduates. And some of those also was like 28 with 6 retractions of players who weren't seniors, but there were a couple of sprinkles in there, like General Hunt, that entered the portal. So I don't know if that does. I know the numbers overlap, so it's not pure adding those two numbers, 41 plus 28. But there's a lot of leadership, a lot of players who were there, who got it out the mud under Coach Simmons, some of his original recruits who won a championship, who left. And so there's a culture shift as it relates to the experience, culture shift in terms of maybe perhaps being entitled with players coming in and not having people do that, but also the culture shift as it relates to the academic expectations. Not that it wasn't there with Coach Simmons, but I think there's renewed emphasis on that. And so I think there's a shift in terms of what's allowed, what's not, who's allowed in and what's not, that our reloaded or run it back didn't allow room for. And we knew Coach Simmons coming in that it was going to be a total rebuild coming out of Alex Wood. So he got a 5-year contract. And I think the presumption of, and maybe even just the times, changing of the times as well. You know, Cozy got a 3-year contract, but we're having a different type of rebuild, if you will, in terms of the culture, in terms of expectations, the type of player or the profile, academic profile of the player, in addition to having heavy losses and the portal and everything else. So I don't know how much that, and, you know, fans probably don't really care about that. They just want to win. So that might not even be a consideration, but that's just something I was thinking about, and that's the path I was going down. In addition to being our 7th AD since 2014. I had to count it up on my fingers.
Yeah,
and you can't have a consistent plan.
Yeah, the stability part is undeniable. It's not there. It's not there.
You can't have a plan to establish a program if you're changing out an AD every 2 years.
But also, man, again, Coach Gokon had 10 new players. Softball had a new coach and new players. Control what you can control.
Yes, that's true.
And without excuse. And then those kind of comments, they might happen at the 2-2 in the club. They might happen, you know, with your administration. They shouldn't happen after a loss to your rival on a blown coverage.
The timing.
I'm just saying, man.
Timing. Yeah, I got you.
It ain't complicated.
No one's arguing what he said. It's the timing of what he said. It's bad luck.
It is, but I mean, Perry asked the question because I went back and listened to it 2 or 3 times and even typed it up in that document. He asked specifically, what would it take or what would you need in order to get FAMU back to the top of the SWAC?
I thought I asked a challenging question tonight, and I thought it was handled and evaded. Well, not really evaded, but just answer as much as it could be the right way, because you always got an audience paying attention to when you get asked questions like that. So just because I want to ask you a question don't mean you have to be totally transparent with your answer all the time. You got to read the room. You got to know the temperature of your audience. Now, that being said, it don't even matter if you don't blow that coverage in the last 20 seconds. It don't even matter. So I'm saying timing matters.
Yeah. And the other thing is, you know, like EA's bringing up 6-2 in the first 8 games and all this stuff. There's so much that's happened since Coach Simmons' first year, and the dynamics are different. You can't compare apples to apples and say, at least for me, in my mind, I can't compare Coach Simmons' first year and, you know, turning things around to Cozy, because there's so many things that have changed in those 4 or 5 years. Even the fact that Coach Simmons had a 5-year contract and he knew he had a time to build. Coach Cozy knows he doesn't have that. He said that a couple of weeks ago when somebody asked him about high school recruits. He said, "You want to give me 4 years? You ain't giving me 4 months."
It's unfair. It's unfair to really.
I mean, that's what he signed up for.
Yeah,
that's what he signed up for. But you know,
it's unfair to compare coaches, in my opinion. This coach this way. The hardest thing to do, let me tell you, in any coach in any sport, the hardest thing to do is follow a legend. Someone who did something at a very high level. You never want to be the guy who followed that guy. You want to be the guy who followed the guy that followed that guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask Coach.
I
didn't want to put him on the spot, but I was going to ask Coach Gray, you know, how was it? I mean, I know he had success right out the bat, but I was like, how was it following? I've forgotten his name. I know it was Coach G.
Gardenia. His first year was just over 500 though, Marcus. So I mean, it wasn't
but
like
in the conference. But
in
conference he was 6-2 and he played for the championship though.
Yes, because actually the second half of his season was better than the first half. If you go back and look at the schedule, I remember the second half they found a good thing and they got on a roll in the second half of the season. And yes, they ended up, but look at Benedict's coach had a similar situation, right? Last year, he's following Chinnis Berry. Had a rough year last year. Took him a year to turn it around and get. So, like to Kelvin's point, it's hard following someone who has had success,
sustained
success, and how long it takes you to implement your way of doing things, especially if you weren't on the staff. And see, that's the part that is most bewildering for a lot of people. Unlike Coach Gray, unlike the guy at Benedict, they weren't a part of the previous staffs. Coach Colsey being a part of the staff, right? I think that's why people have if you want to call it an unrealistic expectation, because he was there. He was a part of it. And so what everyone wanted was a transition, an easy, what we thought was going to be an easy transition. Not easy. Not easy.
When it's not easy.
Winning is not easy.
Yeah.
Very hard.
And especially if Coach Colsey, and I don't know what he saw, what he's talked about or anything, but if he saw things that he'd like to do differently from Coach Simmons, either personnel-wise, philosophy-wise, and if improve the grades or get your APR up in terms of the demographic of the people that you have come play for you, if that was, a mandate, either real or imagined, then there has to be some transition from the previous coaching staff that stayed, the previous players that stayed, some of the paradigms that you operate under. So it's more than just plug and play. And I think there was a thought that it was going to be plug and play.
You can never lose focus, Marcus, of the bottom line, though, in the coaching business. And the coach talked about how cutthroat, and it's only getting more cutthroat. At the end of the day, wins and losses have value. And you have to find a way to get more wins than losses.
Yeah.
That's the focus.
Yeah,
all the other stuff is noise. And they are factors. I can acknowledge they are factors, right? That can impact, sustain success. But from one year to the next year, you're gonna always lose players. You're in college. That's gonna happen. Yeah, that's gonna happen. So you ain't the only program that go through that. Prairie View got a new coach winning right now. So I'm not fair or unfairly. Folks who don't look at things as deep as us, and I'm not saying anything one way or the other, but I'm just trying to put as much information out there. And I do understand the mindset of a lot of Rattler Nation. When they say the standard is the standard, they stand on business with that one. Even with our own, I see folks trying to say, this and that, and I'm not going to give too much pub to that particular situation, but all you got to do is look at Earl Holmes. He got less than 2 years. So I'm not crying spilled milk. I thought that was, but just for the record, I thought that was horrible and the way to operate also. But yeah.
All right. Before we close out the show, I did want to, the only other sport that was playing over the past week was the women's basketball team. They were up there with our friends Marcus and the Middle Georgia folks as they played Mercer on Tuesday in Macon, Georgia. Came up short again, losing by a score of 75-59. We fall to 0-6 on the season. And the one thing that I noted, and it sounds wild to think of it, this is the only thing I can pull from this. And I posted this in our chat group. We've gone from the 73-point loss to Florida State. And every game, the deficit has shrunk.
The delta's decreasing.
It is.
That's the standard.
We went.
That's the standard.
Let's stop it. Stop. Well, for the women's basketball program, what's standard? Stop it. 73, 70. Well, I mean, I'm just saying. No. 73 points down from that for game 2 to 36 to the game 3, 28. Game 4, which was 20. Game 5 was 17. Game 6, 16. The next game is Sunday in Mobile, Alabama against South Alabama. That's a 7:30 Eastern game time against South Alabama. And then the ladies will return home Tuesday of next week to take on the Jacksonville Dolphins at home in the Lawson Center at 6:30. Now, what's interesting is I'll be real quick here. I'll mention, anything you want to add on the women. I was going to mention the men kind of play. Yeah. They've been off all week. They play Jacksonville Tuesday.
They'll be at Jacksonville.
So it's like
in terms of the women games, I'll be there. I'll be at all the home games, watching. And at the end of the day, basketball is a game where, especially how it's played now, you have to be able to shoot 3-pointers with some efficiency, and you have to score. You got to score. There's no 55 to 43 games no more. And this team is struggling to score points consistently. This was the first game out of the first 40 where they 0-4. This is the first game that they didn't have a single-digit quarter, but they did have 2 11-point quarters. We have to get consistent scoring, and I think they're shooting like 30%, less than 30% from the 3-point line, maybe even lower than 25% from the 3-point line. It's gonna be very hard to be successful with that formula. And then you look at across the SWAC landscape, just the SWAC or the MEAC with Howard, and you see some HBCU programs that are beating mid-majors and
let's not compare ourselves to Howard.
Well, I'm not comparing anything. I'm just saying. I'm seeing good basketball played across the landscape. I'm being honest about what I'm seeing.
Okay.
I'm seeing other programs that are looking a lot better than our program. It is what it is.
Let's focus on us, Kelvin. Focus on us.
Nope, not gonna do it.
Focus on us.
So we definitely got to improve, man. I mean, there's not much right now, Bryan. There's not much to focus on.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm just looking at the stats here. We shot 1 of 10 from the 3-point line in that game against Mercer. Yeah.
Question: Did Nia Rhodes play? Because I know she had a hand injury in the Howard game, so I don't know to what extent. I haven't really heard anything since then.
No, she didn't score a point or make an entrance at all.
Okay. And then we got the 3-point shooter, the long distance shooter from Alabama State, but I know she was coming off a leg injury. So I don't know. I know she played in the Howard games. I saw her play, but I don't know.
Is that her name, Rhodes?
No, Nia Rhodes is the freshman.
Oh.
From Tennessee. I sat right in front of her mom and brother, the Howard game. The other young lady, I don't recall. I apologize. She transferred from Alabama State, but she was coming off of it. But Nia Rhodes was probably one of the more consistent scorers and shooters in the Howard game. She was carrying the offense earlier.
Well,
yeah. Hopefully, we confidence, swag. You got to get a win to get that. So we playing some non-Power 5 group of schools, but. So hopefully we'll break through. Mercer was a non-group of Power 5 program, and we're still losing by double digits. We haven't even had a close game where we've been in the game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
We got to get better.
Still looking for the first win for all of our teams. I mean, the men are 0-4, still looking for their first win. The women are 0-6. So, lean times. Let's pray for a better December. December is right around the corner, so we'll pray for a better December.
Well, we play the competition level goes down, so for a few games anyway. So we should have a better idea.
Goes down or evens out to more of who we are.
Well, we're not playing. Yeah, we're not. When I say goes down, I mean we're not playing Power 4 schools, right?
There you go.
Yeah. Every match.
All right. So that's what's on the table as it relates to men and women's basketball. So be looking out for the women on Friday. No, what'd I say? What day? Sunday. Be looking out for the women on Sunday. And then both the men and women play on Tuesday of next week. The women will be home at the Lawson Center. The men will be on the road at Jacksonville University. All right. We've got a lot to be thankful for this time of year, fellas. So we'll just kind of quickly end the show by just kind of giving our thanks. Marcus, who or what are you most thankful for? Then we'll go to Kelvin, and then I'll close it.
I'm thankful. I'm thankful for another year.
Amen.
Thankful for my family and support. Thank you for forgiveness of any and everything I've done in my past, said, done that was wrong, and that is not being held against me. And thank you for my family.
Nice. Go ahead, Kelvin.
Like Marcus, first and foremost, thank you for mercy and grace. Because I'm not where I need to be. But as long as I got breath in the body, I'm going to continue on the journey. Try to be a little better tomorrow than I was today. I'm thankful, of course, for family, friends, loved ones, the HBC community, my family. And I'm thankful that I have what I need and some of what I want. And I'm thankful that I can also not only that I've received what I've received in these 55 years of life after celebrating a birthday a week ago, but I also am thankful that I can serve and do some good for someone other than me. I appreciate that. And I'm going to continue to try to help where I can and be honest. I ain't for everybody.
Oh, I know that. I want to give a special shout out to a friend of the show, Chuck Hunt, who celebrated his 50th birthday yesterday. He was in the chats earlier. I'm not sure if Chuck is still in the chats. He popped in earlier during the first segment. I didn't get a chance to mention, but I saw a few folks who did. So, Chuck, if you come back and watch the show, happy birthday to you. Welcome to the 50 Club. And may it be as enjoyable for you as it is for us. It's not all bad. It's not all bad. 50 is the new 40, something like that. That's what they say. Anyway, I'm thankful just to be able to kind of move into all these different places and spaces and still be able to wake up in the morning, even though I might be a little tired, a little physically, mentally, but I still find a way, traveling grace and mercy, to be able to get to school, to be able to still teach the young people that I teach and coach the young people I coach, then be able to talk to all of you great folks who are watching and listening to the show and be here with my brothers here and AD Drew and all the other the BCSN family folks. And then get a chance to kind of live a dream which is to be able to call Rattler football games on Saturdays and be able to travel with the team. And I mean, and just to be able to travel to Tallahassee and either do a game there or travel with the team somewhere, it's exhausting, but I'm enjoying it. And so I'm just thankful that I have that ability to do that. So, you won't hear me complain too loudly, because, I'm living the dream. I'm living a dream. And so I'm thankful to have my family to be able to support, even though I don't see them a lot. I am able to call them, thankfully. I'm able to talk to them whenever I want to and need to. And I know that they're there and that they're rooting on me and supporting on me. And it's always good to see friends, the family and people that you came into school with and people that you met, and being a part of this FAMU community is really meaningful. It's something that you're told what it's like when you first come to FAMU, but being able to really experience it over the last several years has really made life fulfilling. So with that said,
wait a minute, Bryan. You getting ready to sign off? We got to finish this last week like we did the other ones. I didn't give my score and my prediction.
Oh, I thought we were just praying. I thought we were going to take Gail's advice and just pray.
No.
All right, sorry, Gail.
Consistency.
I tried to get us out by just praying, but all right. Bowl predictions and scores. You go ahead and start, Kelvin.
Okay. My bowl prediction will be that we will hold Valley under 20 points, which I don't think we've done all season.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, we're gonna hold Valley under 20 points. And I'm going to predict a FAMU victory. I'm going to say 30-17.
All righty. Marcus.
I'm going to have a similar score. I'm going to say 35-14 FAMU. And my bold prediction is that our running back core, so I'm not going to put on a particular player. We're going to have 3 TDs from the running backs.
3 TDs. All right. So I just wanted to hold on. I was trying to look up what his Valley's team scored. I was just kind of looking at the schedule real quick. They are 1-10, 0-7.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I just had it up.
All right, let me see. They scored 6 against Prairie View, 3 against Alabama State, 3 against Jackson State, 34 against Bethune, 10 against Alcorn, 25 against Alabama A&M, and 20 against Texas Southern. Okay, so
and 29 against Southern.
Okay, so against the bottom half, they're probably averaging what, 25 to 28 points? Yeah. You said, will we hold them under 20, Kelvin? Is that what you said?
I said we'll hold them under 20.
Lord,
I said I'm giving them 17.
Yeah, about 25 points.
That's a bold prediction.
In between Southern Alcorn and Alabama A&M.
I wish I could be that. I wish I could be that optimistic.
Oops, I was wrong. 44, 25, 69.
41-21 is our score. I don't know. They'll probably break my heart and somehow get a cheap touchdown and score the 21. That's probably what'll happen, Kelvin. They'll probably we'll probably hold them to 14, and then probably on the last series, fourth quarter, last series, somebody will fall asleep. Somebody, something will happen, and they'll somehow trick themselves into getting a 21. So I hate to be that. Don't bet on the team total.
This is a get back game, and
Okay.
I'm counting on the team being really motivated because of what happened last year, as well as what just happened Saturday. Yes,
you're hoping that guys care.
They play with an edge. They play piss off.
Care.
Yeah.
Yes, and hopefully they do. And hopefully you Rattler Nation folks will let those young men know in a positive way that you care, that, hey, go out and be great. Finish your season with greatness on your back, because, we may not remember if we win this last game. We will remember if we lose it. So go be great. Go be great. Fly around and be great. Yeah. Bold prediction. Have we seen a special teams touchdown this year?
You own it. I was going to wait to see if you go there. That's the one you should go for.
I mean, okay, that's what I'm going for. I'm going for
this would be a perfect game for that too, because cold weather and everything. Yeah.
I might scream to the heavens wherever we're set up if we score a special teams kickoff or punt return. I might scream to the heavens. Might cry right on the air, but it might happen though. So yeah, we'll see. So there it is. My bold prediction is a special teams touchdown and a final score of 41-21.
Okay.
There it is. All right. So Kelvin wouldn't let us get away. So that's
right, Ms. Gill. I couldn't. We got to do what we got to do. Finish it up strong.
Yep. Exactly.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Wow, little baby, close score there, little baby. Jesus, 38-35. You know how Jesus. All right. Well, we wish you a happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Safe travels, Bryan.
Hopefully, yeah, thank you. The Rattler bus dignitaries, all of whomever is flying, will fly out of Tallahassee sometime, early afternoon. Get in Jacksonville Jackson, Mississippi in the afternoon. And then on Saturday, we'll bus it over. So, be looking out for me, Jack. I'll reach out to the Jackson Rattlers, Derek Singleton, and any other folks. And
don't forget Stubbs there too.
Oh yeah. I definitely got to reach out. I'll reach out this time, and try to find the spot. So. All right. Well, that's going to do it. Fellas, have a great time with your families tomorrow. Enjoy the food, the vittles, whatever games you're going to be watching. There'll be plenty of stuff to keep you entertained on the TV.
Enjoy the coon, the chitlins.
Ooh, Jesus. Let's go.
For my country folks.
Yeah, for your country folks. You can always donate to the show. You can hit that nice little QR code in the top right corner if you want, and you could donate to the show. You could also drop a super chat if you're on the MyJDN online YouTube feed, and you can make a donation to the show. That way, hitting the thumbs up and the like button is something that is a must, and we implore you to go ahead and hit that. And then be looking out for the BCSN Pod Zone, the podcast network that covers all of the shows on the Black College Sports Network. So the Monday night review is available. This show will be available later if you want to go back and listen to Coach Quinn Gray. You can listen to that interview anytime you want. BCSN Pod Zone, available on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, all those good places. So. All right. Thank you, everybody. For Marcus Green and Kelvin Rozier, I'm Bryan Fulford. Thank you, Rattler Nation. Happy Thanksgiving. And we will see you out on the interwebs. Be well, eat well. Good night, and God bless.